What's up? Kaiser got one in this box. Need to get it out of here so we can check it in and then we can check it out. But it is an Escort. It's a Dirk Pinkerton design. 154 cm blade. It's a black blade with the redstone and steel liners. So, yeah, come on. Let's get it out. I do not own an Escort. This is one of the ones that I bought this summer off of the massive sales that Kaiser was doing. And it's been sitting here in a box. So it's time to get it out of here so we can check it out. Check it in. Check it out. Okay. So I don't have a knife with this. I have to look it up, but this material, it's like a different, I guess like a G10 type stuff. Not sure, but it's called Richlite or something. I'm not sure what it's called. I'll check on it, but I don't have any of it. And I noticed that knives are coming with it now, and I've heard good things about it. People like it, and we'll see. Does seem like it's rigid, so got all of that out of our way. Seems like a rigid material. It's nice and smooth. It reminds me of, what am I trying to think of? It reminds me of not particle board, but pressed dense wood. And I can't think of the name of it right now, so it popped out of my head. It'll come to me. But that's what it reminds me of. All right, let's get it out of here. Let's see what's up. Okay. Well, now that, wow, this whole, I don't know what they're calling that. Does it say on that box? Did I say? Yeah, I don't know what they're calling that lock. I may have to look that up too. But their version of this axis lock or whatever they're calling that, because everybody's got their own name for it now, but whatever they call it, I mean they're doing that right. This action right here, wow. I'll be honest, like I own quite a few knives with this axis, whatever they're calling this, whatever this lock is. I own quite a few knives with it, but I kind of stopped buying them because I don't know, I just kind of got burnt out because some run well and some not so well, and they're really hard to function. I can function this one with my thumb. One finger. Or my index finger. I mean, that is wonderful. Awesome. So I'm going to find out what they call that, and I'm going to find out what this material is. And it won't cost you any of your personal time at all. And just like that, I'm back. So this, they're calling it redstone, but this is Richlite. And Richlite is recycled paper products. So basically it's resin and paper. So it's like carbon fiber, but instead of carbon fibers, it's paper fibers. And what it reminds me of on the surface is MDF, which is kind of the same thing. But I don't think they infuse it and press it with the same amount or types of epoxies that go into this, because I'm assuming this is way harder than MDF. Like MDF can crumble, you know, can come apart pretty easy. I don't think this is that. This is layers of paper, just like you would make carbon fiber. You layer it with resin, press it, and then once it's cured, there's no crumbling it or it coming apart. So I'm going to assume that's this. And then this lock, Kaiser calls this the clutch lock. This is their clutch lock. Yeah. So pretty awesome. And the thumb action's good. The Spidey flick is good. And then just using that action. I mean, I dig it. Let's get a look in here. I'm not sure how far I'm going to take it apart because, man, this thing's wonderful. But I do want to get a peek in there. Is this the screw side? Yeah, it's got a little Loctite on it. That's nice. And I think I got to pull this pocket clip to get to this back screw. And then we can pop this one scale up and kind of see what's going on in here. Get a look-see. I do know that I've seen some advertisements, or I don't know, people talking about it, that the way these are coming now, that's interesting. So this is dark and it's like it's been rubbed out. This is light where the pocket clip was. Huh. Wonder what that's about. Or if it's just dirty. I don't know. But that these are adjustable. So I don't know if this is one of those. It is. And there's no oil or anything in here, so I don't know that I need to go bothering all this and taking it apart. I will say it's clean, everything's put together well. I mean, I've taken plenty of these apart, and I'm pretty sure if you go back in my videos, you'll see where I've done it. But it's adjustable, so you can adjust the tension just by moving this spring from one hole to the next. So going over here would make it lighter, and then going this way would make it tighter, put more tension on this spring. Now, I gotta say that this thing runs perfectly. So I don't know that I would change it at all. Keep dropping that blade on my finger. I wonder if it needs to be cleaned and oiled in there, because now I'm kind of curious. So I am going to take this one side apart. It's not complicated. This little spring just pops out of here, like so. Did it with my thumbnail. And then you can remove that spring from that button, because it's just underneath there. There it is. Pretty simple. And it looks like I got one screw here that's holding down this scale. That's a T8. What do you guys think? I was going to punk out and not take this thing apart? Come on. I was kind of half tempted, though, I will admit, because it's running pretty nice. Now I'm looking at it, and I don't think I can get this apart unless I take the other side apart. I don't think I can, because that button has to clear that scale all the way down here for me to get that scale off of there. I won't be able to get it off of this button. Oh, come on, man. Why you gotta be complicated? Pretty sure this is double-sided. Yep. And one more. Yep. That's that one. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, man. There we go. I wonder if that's an English statement. In for a penny, in for a pound. But Are pennies English? I know the pound is English, so I'm not really sure. So once you get the 2 springs off, that will drop out. And then once that's out of the way, you can pull that scale off of there. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't any oil on this, so what the heck? We'll take it apart and oil it up. There we go. Now, I did drop one of my barrel spacers, so let me find it. Fell right off the table. Man, I get so lucky with that. It was laying right below me. Yeah, so yeah, there's not any oil on it, so I'm glad I took it apart. We'll give it a quick wipe down. Let's oil it. We'll stick it back together. I don't know. I guess I was just being lazy today, because I was thinking about not taking it apart. Don't be lazy, dude. So here's an amazing, wonderful feature on this knife. Says a lot about Kaiser. I mean, how hard was it to just clear that coating where the bearings are going to run, rather than making them cut a path through that black coating? I mean, it's such an easy thing. Great job, Kaiser. Yep. Probably one of the reasons why this thing runs so dang well. And it does. This thing runs, man. I mean, they're calling it a clutch lock, but whatever they call it, I'm going to say this thing was tuned perfectly. I mean, I was super happy with it. I can get a quick peek at these inside of these scales now. I mean, how light is that? That's maybe the lightest material. Wow. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm going to put a dab of oil and see if that changes that. I mean, I'm not scared. I mean, it kind of changed the whole scale. You know how we'll know? Yeah, it's definitely more purpley and darker. All right. So the Richlite is richer. Trying to be witty, man. I ain't witty. I'm stupid. Ask anybody. Okay. Yeah. We'll wipe that off with a towel. Make sure there's not any residue oil on it. All right, let's put it back together. This can be kind of the tricky part, because you got to get them bearings in there and the blade, and it's all got to kind of come together. But we want to oil them. Put a little bit of oil on it. I'm not really left-handed, so I think I'm going to switch gears here. Plus the oil here, a couple of drops of oil should help hold that bearing in place when we're putting it all together. Because that is the tricky part, is getting all this sandwich back together. Because it's not your standard it's not your standard process. So now both sides of this are captured. I can see the flat side on this scale. Let's see. It's actually this one. So this one's got to go on the bottom. This one goes on the top. Let's do the top one first, only because that's the way I'm currently holding it. Like so. And then I'm going to flip it over and get this side. And now that pin should be lined up. Well, this side. There we go. Now, I think I got a barrel spacer here that I got to get in here. Let's hold that down. I don't need that flying around. And I got to get this barrel spacer installed. Probably should have had that in place to begin with. Kind of playing catch up now. Oh, so close. Didn't get it. It's okay. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to very carefully lift this up. Try to maintain. Yeah, the bottom came out. Sure enough. Let's make sure that's back in there. It's not. It's popping out. Let's flip it over this way. Oh, okay, I see why. The stud. Let's put this here. There we go. What am I looking for? I don't know. Try to reverse this process now. Okay, I got one side in. Let's see if I can get the other side in now. There's that. Oh, you dirty dog. I'll get it. I got two hands. Opposing thumbs. I was built for this. There we go. Let's get our pin in, and then it'll kind of lock all this together. Yeah, see, once that's in there, everything should hold in place. Put a spring on it. This one. Ow, poke me. There's that. And we were in the second to the last hole. So let's match that back up. Oh, come on, man. It was in there. What are you doing? There. Let's get the other side. Almost home. I'll get a couple of these screws in there. But the spring tension it'll kind of solidify everything for us. No. We're not in that hole. Up. We're in the wrong hole. Stay on target. Movie reference. Use the force, Luke. There it is. Okay. Now, we had these two, or one, yeah, it was one small internal screw right here. That'll hold the back of this together, and then all we gotta do is put our scales on, our pocket clip. Should be good to go. Give this a wipe down before we wrap up here. That seems not right for some reason. That's because I'm using the wrong screwdriver. There we go. All right, for all intents and purposes, we should be functional. Yep, that's the problem. Pop that bad dude right out of slot. Right out of its socket. There we go. Don't want to do that again. All right, let's wipe that down, and then we're going to mount our scales. Just to get all that kind of grease out of there. Don't really need to do the blade right now, but don't want all this hand oil and stuff in here. Leave it a nice clean surface. All right. Final assembly. Here we go. Nobody said it was going to be easy. I basically just said that no matter what, I'm going to do it. I say nothing about easy. Okay, we want to tighten these down. Could have waited on that one, but this one here, this pocket clip sits on top of that. And it just sits on top. It's not recessed, but it does have two screws. So, you know, it's not optimum. It's not the way that I would choose to have it. Just sitting on top of the surface like that. But it does have two screws, so I guess that's a semi-redemption. So I've talked about this before, but that back screw, I had to get it dug in pretty good to get that front screw down, because the front one's got all the tension on it, and it did not want to catch that scale, or the steel scale behind it. But I got it now. So now we have our two pivot screws, and they both have Loctite on them, and that pivot barrel that they screw into is captured in both scales. So they both independently tighten down. So, I mean, little patience, you know. I mean, it's not as simple as some of the more simpler knives we deal with, but it wasn't complicated. And that thing is super locked down. And now there's some lubrication on those bearings. And I mean, the action on this thing, I mean, which I'm pretty sure that all my Kaiser knives have good action. I don't know that I have one that I'd go, meh, where the action is just so-so. I don't think I have one. I think Kaiser clearly takes pride in tuning their knives and getting their action correct. And this knife is no exception to that rule. I don't know that they're really known for being a higher end knife manufacturer or OEM, but like I say, I don't know that I have one that isn't just outstanding. On some level. Now, design-wise, I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm a fanboy of every one of them, but just the fit, the finish, I do have one, but it's a super old model, and I got one. So to be fair, I have one. This thing, I mean, I always wonder, should I upgrade to the upgraded scales and the upgraded steel? This one's in 154 cm, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I think it was on the box. But this thing's so wonderful, I don't know that I'd upgrade it. And for what I paid for it, I mean, this thing will go, for sure, this is going to go in my pocket. And like I say, I kind of stopped buying these access locks, in their case, the clutch lock. But, man, I do. I like this one. And it is locked up solid and amazing action. Just the thumb, just the index finger. That spring is tuned perfectly. All right, let's check that pocket clip. I like it. So it's over that thick material. Once it's over it, a clip like that's going to run. Very small profile sticking out, less than 1/4 of an inch. Really grippy. Wherever I put that, that's where I'm going to find it when I'm looking for it. And back here in my spot, just disappears right into that spot. Obvious knife with that clip, but wonderful. We'll check it for safety. Can I touch that blade? Nah, no chance. They do a good job of making sure these are engineered so when they're in your pocket, they're safe. You're not going to make blade contact. You're not going to cut yourself reaching in your pocket. Yeah, this thing's wonderful. I wonder if it cuts. Surely this thing cuts, man. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Wicked, wicked sharp. So all that's left is price and availability. So these are available at a couple of places. Kaizer.com, White Mountain Knives, Mojave Outdoor. They all kind of have them. And they're right around $105, $110. And I picked this one up for, I believe, around $90 on sale. Maybe $95, something like that. So is it worth that? I mean, 154 cm. I do like this Richlite and this action. I mean, it's kind of renewed my faith in this lock type. I have several, but I stopped buying them because I mean, I wasn't that wowed by them. I didn't think they tuned well, and this one's got me feeling different. I like it. You know, one of the things I want to check is here. Yeah, so you know, that's kind of an issue with these is they can have a fairly weak detent, but I mean, as far as this knife goes, this thing runs really well. So, anyways, the Kaiser Escort with the clutch lock, Richlite, 154 cm.